This program contains coarse language and discusses mature themes. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
I'm so excited. I feel like it's lame to be as excited as I am, but
I just love it. Like you say, it's Friday. Here's my what is it called? Like candy creep? No, it's not.
well, it's actually just like a clear flavored vape pen, but I
Oh.
have like, my pineapple ice and like my watermelon ice, and I'm like, life is hard, and if I want to have my little watermelon and vape pen,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna let myself have it and not feel bad.
do it. Yeah, I mean, what am I rocking right now?
Like cameo in my videos and my pictures. It's like, there's my vape pen.
You see that? It's real. Because I'm rocking a kiwi dragon fruit berry right now.
I'm like, you know what? If I want to have my kiwi dragon fruit little treat throughout the day, who is it hurting? And maybe
my boyfriend, his vape is like flavored cherry cola, and it legit tastes like a good cherry cola. And I never would have thought that they could like somehow turn that into a vape flavor. It's
I'm not
wild.
mad about it. That sounds
if
amazing.
you guys like to vape, welcome back or welcome to whatever the heck this is. This is the Ugly Couch Podcast.
Sorry.
I don't know how I'm 30 episodes into this and I still suck at my own intro. It's just never gonna happen. Just
I've
invested.
Oh. Already.
Oh. Well, speaking of, this is a lovely guest. Oh my gosh, I've been trying so hard to have you on, and I was so thankful to like hear that like you would actually want to be on. This is SeeSeeBee. No, SeeSeeBee. I put in too many B's. My bad. But well,
okay.
one B. So it's a booby and booty.
Yes. Yes.
So.
Yes.
But hi, thank you so much for being on here.
Yes, no, I'm so excited. I love talking all things like kinky and openness and like sexual and how it like converges with real life. And I feel like this does all of those things. And so I feel really honored that you wanted me here. And I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you. I mean, and it's you have such a beautiful story because I want to just like kind of point out to because everyone that pretty much watches this podcast, well, we've been in the kink community for a long time. You're fresh and brand new.
I am very new. So I've probably had a FetLife, been in the kink community for a little over a year. And my intro was when I met my boyfriend about a year and a half ago. I'm 30. Before I met my boyfriend about a year and a half ago, I had only dated women for 10 years. So
what was what were you just into women? You didn't want to date men? Like how did that go?
I fucked men, like for sure. But just it was never like I just like never took any of them seriously. And my more committed I had a boyfriend at 19, broke up, went to college, but I knew I was bi at pan. I consider myself pansexual. So I just liked people at 16. Actually, I feel like my first I like women experience was when I watched what I'm Just a Cheerleader. What is it?
It's yeah.
Was my like moment, and I was like, I feel like I was like 12 or like I was very young, and I was like, she like sees the Victoria or I had like Victoria's Secret magazines that I would like look at, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I am supposed to be looking at these the way that
it felt naughty. Like I remember we'd get them in the mail because my mom would always get them, and I was like, Mom, can I just like look at it just to like get some like education? No way, bro.
Most all of us need a little help
ham.
from time to time.
Yeah.
We help people who are stressed, anxious, and overthinking to feel relaxed, gain clarity, and find their inner greatness.
Wait, what's happening?
And group classes. Ghost.
Oh my God, that was really me. It was like one of those YouTubes that keeps
Like an
playing.
ads, yeah.
Yes, so sorry. And yeah, but I'm just a cheerleader was my like sexual awakening as like a tiny girl. Anyways, fast forward, I have a boyfriend at 19. I lost I actually lost my girl virginity before I lost my boy virginity.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
I was in theater and musical stuff, and there was the one.
Listen, I
Yeah.
understand. Us drama kids, we are the horniest people ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we're not on stage, we're performing in some other way.
Yes, I'm also a Leo, which, and I don't know anything about astrology other than I feel like I fit the Leo.
Mm.
Uh, I feel like I'm a Leo. I don't know anything about any other one.
Me neither. Make sure you
And
leave in the comments what the
Leo
fuck that
thing
means.
to do. Anyways, so sorry. Like I said, I smoked a little bit of weed before this, so I'm getting chatty.
You're fine.
But boyfriend at 19, and then I met my first like true deep, my big ex in undergrad, and we only dated for like 6, 7 months, and
What
then
makes him your big ex then? If he's only for 6, 7 months.
so it was just like my first like I'm in love with you. I will move anywhere for you. Her name was Carissa. Um, and her and I had started talking while she was dating this girl Brandy. We ended up dating because they broke up. And then fast forward after Chris and I broke up, and then Brandy reached out to me and was like, she was talking to other girls while y'all were together. And then Brandy and I dated for 2 years. She moved to New York with me. Um,
MTV seriously needs to hear this and pick up on this story.
like the full lesbian, like, and
Oh
then
my
yeah,
gosh.
then we broke up, and then I was single for 4 years. Then I met a girl on Tinder. We had gone on a date, and then it fizzled. And then right at the beginning of pandemic, she like hopped into my DMs. We dated for a year and a half. It was like a real decision for me, like whether because I loved her so much. It was just like I was not like an in love sort of thing. Again, getting chatty. Sorry. Um,
You're fine. I'm not complaining about it.
I realized, it was not going to be what I wanted, and that's not fair to me or to her. So I ended things, and then I was like planning to move back to Texas, and then I like 2 a.m. horny swipe with Matt, and now we've been together for a year and a half, and thus enters my journey into this world because he's been non-monogamous for pretty much his whole adult life, and he's 34 and I'm 30. um, and then we started going to poly events and stuff, and then I went to a poly event with him, and this other guy kind of took like a liking to me, and afterwards we had exchanged information, and he asked me if I ever sold my underwear, and I was like, no, but I wear them sometimes, and if you want to buy them, sure, like, okay. So I started selling him my underwear, and then he was like, do you have any like fan sites or anything like an OnlyFans? I was like, no. And then I started thinking about it because in college I had been like a third in a few couples. Um, and I just would always I would go into their, relationship, and I was like, I cannot ever imagine trusting anyone like this much. Um, but I knew like it was to me, sex can just be sex. So I was never worried about it, like I was usually also more there for the women because I was like, oh my God, I want to like kiss you and touch you. You're beautiful because have you seen women, right? Like, of course. So there were like those, I've always been a little kinky. And then, yeah, and then this guy had asked me, do you have like an OnlyFans or anything? And I thought about it and I was like, well, maybe we should just try it. So that was in like September, October of last year, and now we've been doing it, and it's been a whole journey, but I just want to, like, my whole thing with it is that I feel zero shame in it, and I feel like it's cool. Like, I'm very open. Like, my little sister lives with me. My friends, I've told all of them. I also, it's just me and my boss at my job, and we do consulting, and I've told my boss, obviously, like, not details, but I just kind of want to normalize that you can do this type of work and be, I don't know, I feel like there's like this attachment to morality and it's so stigmatized. And the irony is that everybody has sex and everybody does things. And I remember feeling so much like I would watch like the Girls Gone Wild commercial, right? Like I would like hump my pillow and like get myself off to the Girls Gone Wild commercials and feels.
We
And then
stayed up late for a reason to see just those commercials.
yes, and then I would have an orgasm, and and then immediately I would just feel so much shame. And as like you kind of have to like if you grow up, I grew up in a Southern Baptist home, so conservative, like small town in Texas, and you just feel guilty about it. And especially like I'm, 12, 13 coming to Girls Gone Wild. And like Victoria's Secret magazines and there was one time when I was dating my girlfriend, and we have like a ranch, and we'll go spend holidays there, and my families, they were not okay with me being with women, and so they said, we're all going to go to the ranch for Thanksgiving. And I was like, oh well, I'm going to bring Brandy, because my older sister had always brought her boyfriends, and they were like, oh no, she can't come.
Oh, wow.
And so I said, "Oh, well then I'm not going to come." So I didn't go. And then it's Thanksgiving, and my grandma, I guess, had predicted that since I decided not to go, that we would probably end up going to my house, which we did. So my
Grandma,
girlfriend.
listen, Nanas know best, okay? They know us, for real. Grandmas, I appreciate all of you. Like, damn, you really got us.
Well, no, Mimi knew that I was going to go back home. So I went back home with Brandy, and she walked out and she was like, I knew you would do this and you need to get out of the house right now. And so she kicked us out, and we went and like got a hotel like in my town.
Damn. Damn, Mimi's.
Mimi! And I was like,
Mimi.
and she's, over the years they've gotten a little bit better. But like as much as I love Matt with my heart, but I'm just like, oh y'all
Matt, we appreciate and love you so much.
but Matt is a tall white man and they love Matt.
They're like, yes, finally.
But I'm like, but I have been I'm like, I've told my mom, I was like, but we fuck other people. So like you gotta know. And we fight
It's
about
hard. It's hard to
it.
like come out to that kind of stuff with your parents, especially being as an adult. Like when my parents found out that, I stopped calling myself bisexual, bi-curious. I'm heteroflexible. I prefer dick, but if there's women around, I'm gonna touch your butt.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And because have you seen women?
Yeah, I like the other day, like I went to a strip club with a friend, and the girls just started putting their tits and ass in my face, and I was like, "This is fucking heaven. What? Chill."
It's lovely.
It's
Yeah.
very lovely. And when I came out to my parents, they're like, "Oh no, you're not. You're not into women." I'm like, "Bet." And I made out with a girl right in front of them.
Ooh, that's a
And
choice.
And they were like, why did you do that? And I was like, because you can't even take the time and wrap that around your brain and be like, it's okay to be interested in other sexes. And
Right.
but
Yeah.
we're all animalistic, and if we want to play, we're gonna play.
Yeah. So before Brandy was Carissa, the first girlfriend that my parents met, and I dated, like, my women, I guess, type are more masculine women. So it's usually they have long hair, but they dress like boys and they're like butchy. Like
Oh
that's
my. Oh.
usually like my type, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my first ex, I bring her home, and she's got the long hair, but she's dressed kind of boyish, but and then she shakes my dad's hand and she's like, Carissa. And then a few hours later, my dad takes me outside and he's like, I gotta talk to you about something. And I was like, yeah. He was like, Carissa's got a real firm handshake. Is she's not just your friend, is she? And I was like,
he knew from that handshake that there was something
got me
serious going on.
He's like, yeah, no, I'm dating her. And then it was like we broke up and my heart was broken and I'm like sobbing in my bedroom, and no one in my family wants to talk to me about it because they know that, like, I've gone through this, like, girl breakup. And finally my mom comes in, she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, Mom, Carissa broke my heart. She's So it's just like this weird. Anyways, I got out of Texas and I've been in New York for almost 9 years now. But it's
Texas. I mean, it's a strange place. I mean, like I've told you, my boyfriend is from Texas, and man, it gets wild out there.
My thing is, like, I have a Texas tattoo. Like, I'm a Texan till I die, but you could not pay me to move to Texas right now. I mean, just because abortion isn't legal and it's just like a monster, like it's a I don't want to be there, but I do feel I'm a Texan.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That doesn't do any.
That's why Arizona is really awesome right now. Like, we're all like open range. Abortion's still legal here, which is so beautiful. We still have that right. Bunch of swingers clubs. Things get weird on the disc golf course, you guys. Okay, it happens. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. It might have been me. I don't know. I met a guy the other day at a bar, and he was like, "I think I saw you at a course one time." I was like, "Shut the fuck up.
Don't ever speak to me again."
But, like, also, like, here's my, like, FetLife name if you actually want to.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Give me a follow. Follow the Ugly Couch podcast, please. But that's amazing. Like, going from, dating women for 10 years and then jumping into, well, for me, maybe it's just me. And if anyone else disagrees, cool, hit that dislike button. I don't fucking care anymore. It's never happened. But going from dating women for 10 years and then jumping into the kink world and then being polyamorous and whatnot, I mean, you have lived a wild time.
I have, but and I don't want to discount, like, the emotional journey that it's taken, because in the very beginning, like, I was very comfortable in that I liked both, and my partner, we it moved very fast, and it was kind of like, we said I love you very fast, we moved very quickly. um and he was very open to, like, one of his, if he's okay with me sharing, yeah, his kink is like sharing me. And I'm very much like, I like being the center of attention. Like, I like feeling pretty and, like, all of that. Like, I have like a serious praise king.
Well, you're gorgeous, so you're like a freak. You're like a princess right now. Oh my god, you're not a queen because we have responsibility and we don't have fucking time for that.
You stop. So it was very, like, I was into it, but it took, like, we went to a sex party, and there was time I was like, I have to be honest, I think it would make me really uncomfortable to see you with another woman. And I'm not saying that I can't get there, but I'm not there yet. And he was so good about, going on through that with me. And it took time, but it was like, I have, like, I have, abandonment issues. Obviously, my childhood wasn't great. I, was molested at 7, have, which find me a woman who doesn't have a sexual assault story. Like, you can't, I don't think. And so he was very accepting of that. And it took, but I had to, like, really, you have to challenge yourself. And I had to, at one point, be like, okay, I need to watch you kiss another woman, and then we're going to go home together. And maybe that's all that I can see you do, but I need to be able to see that. And then we're going to go home, and I know we're good, because it was my abandonment issue. Like, it's my own thing. And so we've progressed, and now I'm like, we can go to a sex party, and I'm like, go do whatever the fuck you
Like,
want.
go away. I'm gonna go do some weird shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if we mesh, like, and usually our debrief is like, that's when we get, like, we tell each other, like, our personal things. And, like, so I'm not gonna say it's not been a seamless, oh God, I've just fit into it so well. It's been challenging, but I have found that I'm like, oh, this is where I fit. Like, I love Shibari. I love being
I think
tied
that's
up.
great
Like,
that you go through a challenge, because if you just drop into it just like on a will-nil, it doesn't feel like such a journey. Where with you, it sounds so beautiful that you have, had, these kind of events, unfortunately, but fortunately happen, that it's bloomed into something more beautiful than it could ever be.
right. There's a
And,
certain appreciation of, like, my body was not my own for so long, and now my body is the most important thing, and I get to choose,
yeah.
like, who interacts with it.
And that's what's beautiful, is that because you're just bringing up Shibari. Like, congrats on getting into that.
Oh my gosh. It was always like, I've always known. I just feel like I have I have ADHD, anxiety, depression, PTSD, all, the gamut of the mental stuff. And I've always had a lot of things going on with work and stuff. And with Shibari, I've always kind of felt like I would really appreciate and like it, because it's in those moments where you're being tied and you just have to focus on your body. And that's the only thing that you can pay attention to, because it's also your safety. But it's like this, and then you have this trust with someone else, and it's like arousing, but like also intimate. So, and it's been everything that I've wanted it to. And I feel so fortunate to have a very good rigger. And I had a really good first experience with it. So I feel lucky that most of my introductions into the kink world have just accepted me, and, like, I've found such, like, appreciation and, like, fitting in to all of it. So, and even this,
You've
is
been
like,
nothing but a blessing to the kink world. I mean, when I saw your profile, I lost my mind. I was
I
like,
feel
this
the
person.
opposite. Like, I feel lucky to be let into it.
Like, when I saw your profile, I was like, there's no way she's fucking low. She's been doing this for 20 years, 30 years. Oh fuck. All right. Yeah.
Not even 2 years, but
It's wild, but you're just naturally like that, and that's the thing that we're trying to do on the ugly. I know how to say my own fucking goddamn podcast name. Fuck me. Don't edit that out, Calvin, please. Fuck. I didn't say the C word yet. Hold on. Never mind.
okay.
But what we try to do on the Ugly Couch podcast is normalize the kink world. And I know, I lost my virginity at 13. And I knew from that instant, I lost it to my dear friend. I won't say your name. Beautiful Indian man. Oh, he was the same age as well. We were both in love. And then he broke my heart. But we still kept having sex. And
Yes.
it's just great. But,
Yeah.
I knew from that day that I lost my virginity, I was like, I am not into that vanilla stuff. My first kiss was with a Ken doll. Okay, that's just
Yeah.
probably
Well,
not.
I remember, I feel like I think I masturbated for the first time at 6.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it was like a really young, but again, like, I had, like, kind of a fucked up childhood.
Yeah.
Spent a few years in foster care, got back in, like, and so I was partially adopted. So my mom is Spanish and German, and she met my adoptive father when I was 2 months old, and he's been my father ever since. So, and my biological father is full Mexican. So I'm Mexican, French, Spanish, German. That's
That
my.
sounds like the greatest entree ever.
It's imagine that fusion dish if you or fusion fucking
I want it. I'm ready. I'm hungry.
meal. Yeah. Um. So it's just so many conflicting things all of the time. But I feel like a lot of it, like I knew very, like again, I knew I was I called it bisexual when I was like 16. And I heard my family, like, all I will say about my family or where I'm from is that my dad has a Confederate flag tattooed on the back of his head. That's all I'll say.
On the
So
back of his head. Wow, that's big bold moves.
That's where I come from.
Oh, yeah, I
And
get it.
I left, and actually, so I have a 34-year-old sister. I'm 30. I have a 23-year-old sister and a 13-year-old brother. My 23-year-old sister actually lives with me and my partner here, and she knows what I do. Like I told her as soon as I was doing it. Obviously, I don't share the weird intimate.
But she's open and accepting of what you do.
Yeah, well, and like actually it works out because I work during the week and she's off during the week and she works at a bar on the weekends and I do my content on the weekends. So I ask her to schedule and I'm like, "Oh, I'm filming a scene." Or I'll tell her like, "Oh my God, I just made it to like top 10% on OnlyFans." And like I share like little milestones with her.
As you should. You deserve it. I mean, it's incredible. Your work is
And
beautiful.
her and I can talk about sex in a way that's not fucking weird. Because it's like, again, normalize it. Like everybody either does it or thinks about it. You came from it. Like, why is this such a taboo thing? Like, again, like if you want someone to put a finger up your butt, cool. If
You
it's not,
stole my line. I was gonna say that.
no, it's like, okay, I did. I know, but it resonated with me. It
But
did.
it's true. Like if sometimes you're in the shower and you want to stick a finger in your butt, okay, cool, whatever. I'm not gonna judge you on that. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't make you weird. It's just whatever makes you happy. Cool. As long as no one's getting hurt, you're not breaking any laws. There's no animals involved. Okay, cool. I don't fucking care.
Exactly. But except sometimes the laws aren't.
I really like that you said that before I did, and you know what? I'm appreciative of
It
Calvin
just
or Julie. Could you put a little
resonated
bubble
with
up that
me.
says thank you?
Yeah, I'm so for it. I'm so yeah. I
Well,
feel.
that's a beautiful thing because my boyfriend, he has his oldest, she's 22,
Mm-hmm.
and her and I, like, it was very awkward at first because her and I are closer in age than him and I are because he's 42 and I'm 31.
Right.
So, but she'll like it got to the point one time where she was like, "Can I show you a couple of tit pics and see if this is okay to send?" And I was like,
Sure.
and I was like, "Cool," because it was very like at first I think that she was kind of skeptical about us because again he's 42, I'm 31, about
Mhm.
the age gap, and but we got along so well. I went to her high school graduation, like
Yeah.
her and I like clicked so easily, and then talking
Yeah.
about like sexual stuff. She was like, "What? So what does your girlfriend do?" My boyfriend's like, she posts nudes. She's like, sick. I was like, yeah,
Yes.
got it. I
Yes.
got the daughter-in-law of my dream.
Yes. Yes. That's so fucking nice. And like it's like such you can be objective about it. Like, oh, that looks good, and you don't have to sexualize. Like, think you can observe the sexual world without necessarily being like creepily sexual about it because again it's like sex can be just sex.
Sex. Yeah.
That's it. It's fine. You can just have sex and just and that's it. That's been the most like liberating I think part is that I've felt that way for such a long time and now I'm like able to live a life that I'm like okay I can just do it and it's fine.
You could do whatever you want. It's beautiful. The world is your fucking oyster.
That's the thing. And it can be, yeah, it's a very liberating thing. And I feel like everyone should know that like whatever you feel is like holding you back is probably like some social construct, and you can, the only person that you're ever going to have to deal with forever is you. That's it. So are you making you happy? Cool. Like that's it. Like, are you treating people well? Are you loving other people? Are you loving yourself? That's all you have to do, I feel like. And it's
Yeah.
easier said than done, but if I can get out of it, I promise you can get out of it. Like, I promise.
Well, and especially you can't, because you're surrounded by 200 fucking plants. So you've got a lot of oxygen over there.
Of course. Surround yourself with plants. I personally smoke a lot of weed. You know, just do the things that make you happy. Try and put out, I believe that you get the energy back that you put out into the world. It feels simple, but it's hard to navigate life, but I don't know.
It's all fucking groovy.
It's groovy.
Groovy.
Fine. Just
You all need to start saying that word more often, because if one more person makes fun of me for saying that word, I will not find you.
oh, nobody should make fun of you for saying that word because it's groovy.
I get made fun of so many times when I say groovy.
Whatever.
Mac, I'm gonna totally call you out on here. I know you're watching this podcast right now. Don't make fun of me for saying groovy ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't.
you tell Mac. Say, Mac, don't make fun of her.
Mac, don't ever fucking make fun of her again for saying the word groovy. Or I'm gonna flush your favorite pair of socks down the toilet. So what do you think about that? Ruin your plumbing. You're gonna call somebody. And you've lost your favorite pair of socks. So now you gotta think about your shoes. It's a chain reaction. Don't do it. You've been warned.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mac. Okay. Um, well, oh my god, that is so fucking funny. Wow. Everyone's gonna fucking lose their shit over that. Sorry, Mac and Calvin and Julie and Johnny. I love you all. And Nick. Oh, okay. Before we get too sidetracked, is there anything you want to plug in before we end this beautiful fucking weirdness shit that it's
Plug in. I mean, my OnlyFans, CeeSeeBee,
the
Twitter.
links will be all down below for her.
Yeah, do it if you want. Don't if you don't.
No, fucking do it. Don't tell them not to do it. Fucking do it. You guys like and support that We Couch podcast. You see this person next to me. I don't know which side she's going to end up on, because every time we upload, it gets different.
It's fine. I'm just happy to be here. I love talking about these things. I love your mentality. I feel very honored to have been asked to be here. And just, talk to other people about it. Normalize it. It's not weird. It's not bad. It can be what we make it. So
Yeah.
we
And spread that positivity like you spread your legs, you know?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you, CeeSeeBee. I made sure that there wasn't another B, so everyone doesn't. I have talking problems, all right, and I have a lazy list. Stop judging me about it. It's okay. Um,
Say anything.
but thank you so much. If you ever want to be back on the Ugly Couch podcast, feel fucking free to message me whenever you
Yes, I'm like we should check back in like a few months, a few weeks, whenever. I'm like I said, I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah, and you're booked and busy. You've been doing some amazing work from what I've heard.
I mean, yeah, it's I work at a day job a lot, and then doing this stuff on the side, which I feel like is a very people who don't have like OnlyFans or do sex work, they think it's so simple. Like, oh, it's just your body and you take pictures and you make money. And it's like, you have no idea the amount of work that goes into it. It is a genuine full plus time job. So outside of the vulnerability that comes from doing this work and the risk, the inherent risk, it's also time constraints, like, and also scheduling, and it's so much more than what you think. So just have some goddamn respect for
Damn
it.
right. Have some goddamn respect for us showing our coochies and titties.
Yeah,
And
you're
everyone
fucking
shows
welcome.
their dicks. Yeah. You're fuck. I didn't have to show that shit. You fucking.
Welcome. Yeah. Like you try and make money with your fucking genitals.
Oh my
And
God,
you
that's
as
a
you
lot of
should
work.
if you can. I support you. But it's hard.
Being a content creator is fucking weird and it's fucking hard and we spend a lot of time on it. But thank you so much again for being on this. You have been nothing but a blessing. And the sun, literally, I kid you not, it was so cloudy earlier. The second that you called me, like it was so bright and shiny.
Yay! I love
Like,
it. I had so much fun. I can't wait to talk to you again because I know that we will.
Well, thank you guys for coming to the podcast. I'm not doing the outro, but thank you so much. You're fucking fantastic, and I'm gonna have to talk about seeing them rope work.
Hey, yes, please.